So you've clicked on this link because you want to learn how to scratch. Keep watching and you're going to find out. Hello and welcome. My name's Nicky H, and today I'm going to do a basic level scratch tutorial. Now we're going to go back to basics. This is going to be from the ground up. So for some of you, you might want to skip through some of these tutorials if you already know the basics, but I am going to take it right back so we leave nothing out, and hopefully by the end of it you guys will have some sort of idea of how you can scratch and how you can perfect your skills as a DJ. Let's start straight into it. Now I'm assuming you guys have some record decks, you might have a controller. Today we're going to be scratching with vinyl. And I have a controller here, but I'm going to use the controller with Serato to play the music. And here in the middle here of this controller, this is the VCI 380. This is also a standalone mixer, so I can put a through channel on it, which in this case is a record deck. Now this record deck I'm going to use not control vinyl, although I recommend that you do that for this tutorial, because what I'm going to do, all of the samples and beats that I use in this tutorial I'm going to put in the description below so that you can download them and use them yourself. So you can upload them to Serato or Traktor, whatever you're going to be using. So in this controller I'm going to be using Serato, and I'm going to be playing a beat and I'm going to be scratching on this deck. Now the first thing you need, very important when you have a record deck turntable, is you need one of these. This is a slip mat. It's a Ram Records slip mat. I'm a bit of a fan, so you need a slip mat. Now, why are slip mats important? Slip mats are important after I start this deck, because what will happen is as soon as you touch this slip mat, the actual platter continues spinning underneath. And that is very important because it means you can stop the vinyl and spin it backwards and forwards, which is part of scratching, as you have no doubt seen on the TV, on YouTube, and heard in your headphones. So now we know what all this is. We know what a slip mat is. We know we have a mixer here, and we know that we have at least one turntable. Next we're going to need some vinyl to scratch with. Now this is it's not a control vinyl, this is a DJ scratch vinyl. So this has lots and lots of samples that have been recorded onto it. So this is a standalone piece of vinyl, it's not a control vinyl. So it has beats and it has scratch samples. But as I said before earlier, I'm going to leave all of the beats and samples in the description, so let's get on to it. So what have I got here? What is my setup? How am I going to be doing this? So basically on the right hand side, my right, I've got a track that I'm going to be using to scratch with, and this is an instrumental of the Shiznit by Snoop Dogg, banging tune. So this is what we're going to use to scratch along to. And on this side I have one sample. It's an ongoing sample, which is just a constant noise. Now this is what I'm going to be using to scratch along to. Now some basic level stuff. Some of you guys might be thinking just get on with it, but I'm going back to basics. This is for someone that has never scratched before. Now we're going to talk about the crossfader. Now the crossfader here, this is this part here. The way this works, when I move the crossfader to my right, I play the track on the right. When I move the crossfader to the left, I will play the track on the left, which in this case is the scratch sample. If I put the crossfader in the middle, it plays both together, which is what we do for mixing. Now, depending on what kind of mixer you have, hopefully you have a mixer which has a crossfader curve setting. Now the crossfader curve has two settings. Now the first setting will be, on mine it kind of looks like a table with crossed legs and then the one next to it looks like a table with straight legs. Now on its current setting, this crossfader is in the arc setting, so the cross legs. That will mean that anything that I play on this side, as soon as I begin to move the fader along, this side, it will slowly get quieter, and this side will slowly come in until when I move it all the way to the left, the volume of this deck has disappeared completely, and the volume of this deck is as loud as it's going to be. It's at full volume. Now, what we want to change the crossfader curve to the setting, not the table with the cross legs, but the table with two straight legs. Why do we want to do that? I'll explain why we want to do that. Now, as I said before, when you move the fader over from the right to the left, the volume of this track slowly dips and the volume of this track is slowly louder. Now, with this new setting, with the curve in as sharp as it's going to go, so this is the table with the straight legs, it means as soon as I move this fader even slightly, the track on this side, on my left hand side, the volume will come in fully. So it will come in at its full volume. So no matter how far along I move this fader, this track and this track will both be at full volume. Now, why is this important? This is important because I want to move the fader ever so slightly and I want to be able to hear this track fully. I don't want to just hear it a little bit, I want to hear it fully. Why? Because I want to scratch with it. So, without further ado, let's get onto our basic scratch. So our first scratch that we're going to learn is the baby scratch. So, the baby scratch is, as its name suggests, the most basic scratch and the most simple scratch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the fader, which is on the hardest curve, so the crossfader curve is on its sharpest point. So as soon as I move this fader over, this track is fully in, so I'm just moving it over ever so slightly from right to left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this record backwards and forwards. Now, this is the sample that I've included in the link to the description below. This is the long sound. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to stop the record and just get it at the beginning of that sound. So, listen to your headphones. There you go, it's just starting here. Now, what I want you to do is move the fader over just very slightly from right to left, and then move the record backwards and forwards. Now this is the baby scratch. As I said, move the fader over from right to the left, just a fraction, and move this record backwards and forwards. Now, how could this sound along with music? Let's find out. So I'm going to play the shiznit and I'm just going to perform the baby scratch. That's the baby scratch. Thanks for watching. See me again for part 2 where we look at the transform scratch.